Today I'm meeting up with a brand new customer, Ari.
Hello.
Then touch on the brake, that's enough. Revs. Revs, hear it? Clutch coming up and go. Keep the revs coming. Good stuff. Revs, fine. You're getting better every single time. Welcome to the Go-To Driving School YouTube channel. I'm Matt, and on this channel, if you're new here, this is all about helping you learn to drive more efficiently with online learning to drive videos. And today I'm meeting up with a brand new customer, Ari.
Hello.
And Ari wants me to help her with, she's recently passed your driving test, haven't you?
Yeah.
In Derby, and she wants me to help her with a few things today, so we've just met up and we'll go over a little recap now if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
So, tell me a little bit more about you and your driving. And
Well, I started in February, so it's been, I'm not sure how many months, 5, 6.
Okay.
I was passed just over 2 weeks ago, or well, one day over 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I learned on a diesel car, so since I'm gonna buy a petrol car, I kind of got into the bad habit of using the clutch only to move off.
Yes.
Yeah, which is
Common.
Yeah, for diesel cars, yeah. And I only found out that it's kind of a bad habit way into the learning process, so I kind of need to undo that now. And obviously, if there's any other bad habits that you catch on to, fix those as well while it's still fresh.
Of course. And what was it that made you realise that you're not going to get on very well when you buy your first petrol car with the way that you've been told?
I think I heard a comment in your video about the differences between petrol and diesel cars.
Yeah.
So
That's it. And so we've got 2 hours today, haven't we? And then we're going to do some Pass Plus the following week. And you said there's a few issues with carriageway and slip road and things, which we can look on with that. But so yeah, it's really common. And for those of you who are watching who have learnt in a diesel, just make sure that you need to be setting revs first, basically, and then get into your bite, or else you could. And I've heard this story a lot where people pass, they buy a car and their confidence just gets destroyed because they keep stalling. Especially because you live in quite a busy road, don't you? So you'd have to get gone out of them junctions.
Yeah, and there I would just use the clutch pretty much, So.
Which the reason it'll work on a diesel is because it's got more power, lower end, more low end torque sort of thing, so the clutch, it's more forgiving. But yeah, you won't go away with it with a petrol really. So yeah, so you're at the end of today's session, what would you have liked to have achieved?
To move off as comfortably as I do in a diesel car.
Okay. And how
possible,
yeah, okay, good. And what about hill starts and stuff?
Yeah, it's the same, because I kind of nailed the hill starts on the diesel car, but obviously this is different. Yeah, so...
Yeah, okay. And hill junctions, when you get to a junction and it's on an incline, how do you get on with those?
Those are fine as well, but
yeah,
I would obviously need to work on that in the petrol car.
Okie dokie. I think this is, as you can see, if we look, you can't see from the camera now, but you'll see when we swap over, the viewers that is, but as you can see, Ari, that it's very much up and downhill around here, so it's quite good for us today. What's probably best then is if I see what you're doing at the moment, because if you probably heard the expression, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So if we could just make a few tweaks rather than going the long way around to end up with the same result, let's do that. I think you've already got an understanding, haven't you? Yeah. From what you've said. So let's see what we can do about putting that in action.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, what I'm worried about is that because the reverse is on this side, can I accidentally put it in reverse if I'm like parked up?
You can't. It's a good question. I'll give you a quick overview of the car. We'll start with this. To get to reverse, you see, yeah, in theory you could go too far across, but the only way to do that, to open that gate, is to...
Oh, okay, good. I was kind of worried.
So unless you're doing that, you won't do that.
Okay, perfect.
The gears are quite spaced out in this car, and quite nice really in terms of getting used to them. But did you say to me earlier that there's sometimes you might end up in 5th or 1st?
No, it was mainly when I was changing from 4th to 5th. Like,
okay.
I don't know, the speeds are kind of the same. Well, when I'm going about like 46 and changing up to 5th.
Alright. Maybe something we can look at when we do your Pass Plus. So let's not focus too much on that. The bite point then is about halfway up on the pedal lift with the clutch pedal from on this car. It's not very close to the floor like some cars, so you've got to slide back a bit and then come up, and then you'll feel the bite. Feel free to have a little bit of a play with that before we get going today if you wish. Don't forget to pop it in first gear. That's it. Now, what you want to try and achieve, what's your normal reference for finding a bite? You know, so, because when do you normally stop moving your foot? What's the first thing you think, oh, bite, got it?
Well, I already have my right foot prepared for the gas.
Yeah.
And then, depending on the hill, if it's quite steep, then I would know automatically that it's going to be a bit higher, the bite. At least on that car it was. And then, obviously, in conjunction with the handbrake, if it's a steeper hill, have it higher up. I can't say I really look too much at the car lifting.
Yeah,
It's more like I try to feel it.
Yeah, that's good. What I would say is, you don't want it rumbling very much. You want the very beginnings, you know, when you feel something, particularly because, well, it is a slight incline actually. Yeah. But actually, it's not that much of a high bite. You just have it slightly higher and a slight bit more revs. But you know where you felt it then, it was quite rumbly. Just stop it at the very first feeling, if that makes sense.
Kind of like here?
Yes, somewhere there. And then what you do, you know you're sort of in and around the bite point there, don't you? You might lift it up 1 more millimetre to add for the hill. So it's not too high, and because then you could still move in off then if you're not got enough revs. But yeah, anyway, if you want to have a play with that, that's fine. A couple of finds of that, just the beginning bits of it, and freeze your foot when you get there. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that'd be just right. That would. Then you'd have your revs first, and then your bite. But anyway, like we said, we'll see how things are. We'll just fix the broken bits, the bits that you need in order to successfully drive the Petrol first of all, and then we'll see if whatever else we need to do. What's the other things? The brake's quite sharp. Just remember you're in first, just in case you come off the clutch. The brakes are really sharp, so when we move off, if there's nothing behind it, I would encourage you to just have a little feel for them, just before we get to the first junction, or you know, if we have to stop and there's a car behind us, because they, particularly at low speed, they do stop you very quick. So thickness of the coin, feel what that does for the you know, the speed, and then decide whether to add another thickness, but don't keep pressing because you'll stop.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll drive on when you're ready. I'll give you directions in good time.
So, how many revs do I need?
Well, I would again go from noise and feeling. So you want a good amount of revs, and it just needs to be a gentle hum in the background.
Okay, and it's again, if it's steeper, then more revs kind of thing?
A touch more, but people say that, and I think it's confusing for learners because it's not that much more. Do you know the real key is, Ari, is to keep your feet still and let the clutch plates fuse together. Let that connection establish. That's the real key.
Instead of just like trying to wiggle around.
Yeah. Keep asking me questions. I'm happy to answer them, no matter what, or if you think you've asked it already. That's what today's about. So you can get the most out of today, and I'll be happy.
Should we move off then?
Yes, we'll move off when you're ready.
Also, do I kind of set the revs a bit before I do all my checks, like the blind spots?
Yeah. Do you want a bit of help with this? Bit of guidance? Because so I'd set revs first, so revs, and I'm quite quick about the way you set them, because you know when you get to junctions you sometimes need that speed. So let's just say, I mean, you might have seen me do this on the other videos. For those watching, Ari found me on YouTube, didn't you? A couple of weeks before you test, in case anybody's wondering. So it's going to be revs first, press out, that's it. So something like that, fairly quickly, boom, revs on, freeze. So you just keep that noise now, you ain't got to look at the rev counter again, and then you find your bite while your revs are still on, and then you keep both feet set, cemented still. Keep them revs on. That's it. Keep your both feet cemented now, don't move them. Do your checks. If it's clear, release handbrake. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, just pull up on the left for us, sorry about that. It appears the boot's open. Got it first time the other day. Took me about 10 attempts that time. Nearly had the seating bit. And we'll see if the sensor goes off again. Right, everything okay with that? What you just did there, yeah? That's one of the goals, is to not take such a long time to move off. So you did nice and nifty. Yeah, okay, I can definitely help you there. Yeah, because on diesel cars, just like that. Well, it wasn't like the first time I was driving, but by the end of it, it was quite easy to move off, quite quick, so I'm hoping it's going to be the same now. Okay, alright. Yeah, drive on when you're ready. It's the handbrake this time. It's just on a little bit. That's it. You just let go of the button a bit early, that's all. It's in neutral at the moment. That's fourth, possibly. Really? Yeah. Quite space the gears. And if you want to stop it from bouncing to neutral, which it's designed to do, keep it palmed left as you change from first to second, the gear stick. It's warmed up, hasn't it? Last 15 minutes. It's cold in the morning. Good. Okay, and we'll pull up on the left before the red car. What made you think about the signal? There was no one around first, then he popped up, so... Yeah. If you're still rolling, it's probably worth giving it, just to confirm that you're definitely stopping, not just about to roll and move off. Because you weren't there to begin with, was he? So, yeah. So the reason I've asked you to pull in is just so we can keep practicing moving off. Yeah. What I'm seeing so far is quite good. Just taking quite well. It's not really taking a long time, I don't think. It can be quicker. I can get you doing it in such a way where you literally, as soon as you do that last check, you're moving. You know, your head's looking forwards and you're moving forwards. And that's just tying all the observations into it, which you're kind of already doing there. Also, your feet are nice and steady. So what you can do, keep your clutch, as your clutches start, once you feel the connection between the pedals after you've kept your feet still, you'll start to lift your clutch then. As you lift the clutch, slowly increase the pressure on the gas. Keep your left foot ready for second, but boom, straight to second. So it's like a nice, clean sort of move off, you know, up to speed with no time delays, if you like. Yeah, so we'll try that again. Would you want any help from me, or do you want to give it a go again? Should we go through the gears actually before we...
Sure. Okay.
Yep. I'll give you just an overview first. I'll take the clutch from you. You can relax your left foot. As you can see, from neutral to first, it's quite a way there. When you push forward to first, if you keep it pushed too much this way, that way, it gets caught on the gate of reverse. So you've got to kind of go left and then push directly forwards, and it does kind of bounce a little bit to the right. But as long as it's in that channel initially, it will go first. When you go first to second, the gear stick's spring loaded, so it will, if you don't stop it, it will do this. Yeah, pop into neutral. And fourth's directly behind. So you're so do you remember what you were doing with you? Yeah. Just show me what you do then to stop that happening. Oh, what's it? Okay. That's it. Just keep it left. All right. And yeah, cool. So I'll come off the pedals there. So, do you want help with practicing the moving off? Because you're better than I expected, actually. I must admit. That's a compliment, by the way. So yeah, should we keep going until we see an issue, and then because I'm not really seeing any issues yet. I'm quite pleased with that. Revs are quite nice.
I think at some points they kind of start dropping until I remember, but I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see.
All right, yeah, let's keep going with it.
Yeah.
So I won't give you any help, but I will chip in if I feel I can benefit you. Handbrake's on just a little. Just don't let go of the silver button. Well done with the gears. Don't let go of the silver button until you hear the handbrake thud off the plastic console underneath. Okay. Again, nice feet there. Good amount of gas coming through. Would you like to expand on that and move off a little quicker? Get to second earlier?
Yeah.
Okay. We've got a junction coming up at the end. It's uphill. So could you turn right at it, please? It is up for right. So I can see you understand the concept of what you need to do there. Next time when we go round, we'll try and balance the feet without actually using the foot brake. Does that ring a bell? Yeah? And then when you get to the end of the road, we'll turn right. So this is an uphill one. Would you like me to guide you through the process?
Yes.
So if you start your mirror as your signal, you can see the end of the road's coming. Cover the... Good, you're already covering. Pop your clutch down now, first gear. A little bit of brake. Brake, brake, brake. Set the revs. Okay, no worries. No worries. Okay, you're under control. I'll leave it with you.
Yeah, brake too hard.
Yeah, it's...
So sure, should I have gone before that black car, or as opposed to wait?
I would have you, but you've got to be quick and confident. Well, I think you'd seen it all. I don't think there's any problems with your observations. But it's acting sooner, isn't it? Just saying, yeah, I'm going, and being sure about it. But it was correct to go. It's just getting your head turned a couple more times, I think, and taking in more information. So we've got to get revs first there, yeah? Is your car just rumbling a little bit?
I think I did the clutch first, didn't I?
That's it. We'll establish a bit more of a rhythm once we get going, because obviously I've never met you before, not seen you driving. You're better than actually I expected.
Not sure if I put it in there.
Yeah, that's it. If it was first, I think we'd know about it. Have you ever done that one before?
I have once by accident. Yeah.
Never a good one.
On the roundabout, I think it was.
Oh dear. Now we're going to turn right shortly. It's not that far away and it is downhill, okay?
Yeah.
So next road on your right, are you okay with that? Just after the second tree. See it? On the right. Clutch all the way up, clutch up, clutch up, clutch up. Good. Is that something that's come up before with you driving?
The clutch down? Yeah. Yeah, that was
And what's that then? How is that losing your control? Why is it losing your control?
Because there's no engine braking, so it turns wider and faster going.
Yeah. You know, if you come off your gas now, let's just practice that. You feel the engine slowing you down, even though it's downhill, because the gear's engaged. Because it's a lower gear, it likes lower speed. So yeah, you've got a big clutch up. So after you keep on your brakes, clutch coming up, 1, 2, 3, 4, and off the clutch, and then rear ready for your turn. Getting back with them brakes. Revs first, revs on. Good.
Bad habits.
It's alright. So shall I keep giving that reminder for now?
Yes.
Because I know when you move off from the side of the road, you've got lots of time to think, haven't you, about it? But it's different when we're on the move. So yeah, I think that'll be good.
that was the problem, because when you're put up you have plenty of time to do whatever, but
Yeah.
turning out of junctions or roundabouts, that's what I was worried about.
Yeah, okay. And if you could pull up on the left after the side road, it's a safe place, that would be fantastic. It's alright. Cheers for that. Right. So, a little bit of harsh braking when we come to the two hill junctions.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're getting used to the car and that, as that to take into consideration. Now, how was you on the... What would you have done in with your other instructor on these type of junctions where it's on an incline and you've got to kind of... Because you can't just keep going, can you? Because you can't really see an approach.
Yeah, I think it was clutch in first, then gear as I'm rolling up.
Yeah.
And then once I come to the lines, just brake, see if I can go. I think that was it, yeah.
You may not need the brake as you get to the lines.
Oh yeah, then you just kind of keep it on the bike.
Exactly,
Right?
balancing. So, at that point it's... But with this though, you've got to go... So it's... You do everything you said, and then it's clutch down, select first gear, early on while you're still rolling, like you said. But before we find bite, do you remember what we said we'd set? Now.
The revs?
Exactly.
First?
Revs on, bite point, balance, hold, edge, look, go. All the way up to the lines. So the missing ingredient at the moment is not having the gas and possibly not getting the...
I think braking too fast.
Braking too much. If you're not near the line, consider how much... Because you imagine, this when the clutch goes down, it's the opposite to coasting, it's a dead weight travelling uphill. It's going to lose its momentum fairly quickly.
Yeah.
And the next thing it do is stop, wouldn't it? And then it'll just start to roll back. So try and feel the rate in which it's losing its momentum based on your distance from the giveaway lines and approach. Because often if you get the clutch down early enough, based on the approach speed, you haven't got a brake. And it's better if you don't really, it's smoother. Would you like, a couple of ways you can do this now, because we've got a couple of hill junctions, whichever way we go. Would you like me to guide you through those bits, or would you want me to show you?
Yeah, you can show me, please.
Would that be beneficial to you, do you feel? Yeah, okay. And you can watch it, and then we can implement it whatever level of instruction you would like. Okay, we'll swap over. So what I'll do, I'll talk out loud what I'm doing when I'm doing it, and if I can get the whys in, I will as well. So when I find the bite, I use something. So you was on about speed. That's something that you want to add into yours. I do something what's called slide and dig. So I slide back, dig the heel in, and then I just sort of land at the bite.
Okay.
So that can add speed. Slide, dig, bite. Slide, dig, bite. Slide, dig, bite. Do you know what I mean? So first thing when you get your car, practice this. Bite, release. Bite, release. Bite, release. Because that's going to, just the muscle memory of it's going to save you loads of time. Especially on these hills where the consequence would be, if you're not in time, you'd roll back. Which would make you panic and like reach for the foot brake. Okay, so we've got the bite. Got the gas. That's turned. Hands are ready. This is quite an important one as well. I think you are doing that actually, aren't you? Signal because he could check his shoulder. Anyway, I'm going to go a bit quicker than I usually would, knowing that I'm going to slow down just to line like this. So a bit of brake and clutch down. Off the brake, first gear, still rolling, set revs, bite point, balance. Got some activity, so I'm going to balance and hold.
So you didn't use gas as you were coming up to the line?
Yes, ready to back me up for when I find the bite. If I haven't got back up, that means I'm operating the car. Oops. That means I'm operating the car with bite alone, and that's when it'll stall, because it'll struggle, because it can't really do that without the power to help it climb. So let's have a look on this next one. So I'm going to hopefully approach it, as long as it turns in, approach this a little quicker. And I'll just, if I have to hold back behind that car, that should hold back. I'll do exactly the same, but I'll just bear in mind that car's there. I'm going to turn right at the end. So off the gas, covering. Clutch first. Am I going to need the brake? What do you reckon?
Probably not.
No. Revs, bite, last looks, gone. So what's the biggest thing you'd take away from that?
Just not use, kind of see if I need the brake, or was it? No. Not use the brake first, because that's what I was doing before the hill I brake.
Yeah.
And kind of, find the bite and then see if I need the revs or whatnot.
That's it, because you need you don't want to use the brake too early, because you need the momentum to get you to the place where you can actually see whether to go or not. Yeah. Obviously, some are more closed than others. You know what I mean by open and closed junctions?
Yeah.
How did you find your driving test, by the way? Was it sort of what you expected?
It was actually super easy.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it a kind route then? Test route?
Yes, I think so. I had been on it a few times. It was
Chatterston.
I would not know the location, sorry, but but it was when you leave the test center, it was first left on the roundabout.
Yep.
And then I think we went on a dual carriageway, and from there on it was a country lane.
Right.
Single carriageway, and don't really know the locations.
Got another little exercise that might be useful for you as well, just in terms of being able to, because you know what I've just done there, I would use exactly the same concept if I was in a meeting situation where you're, so let's say you're travelling uphill, but then a car comes, and you've got to hold back. Well, you've got to stop, but you want to be ready to go again for when the car's passed. You don't want to roll back either. Exactly the same concept.
Yes.
So we'll try and get some of them in, and also. We've got something where I'll get you stationary alongside the road, we'll move a bit, set the feet, almost default it again, reset the feet, make it move, clutch down, kill the drive off, reset, and that'll really get that going then. Okay. Yeah? I think that sounds like a load of nonsense, but you'll see what I mean in a bit. So I'm just observing you driving generally, it's not a bad standard really. And just for the viewers, I mean, how many hours did you do? How many driving lessons?
Just 50, but I didn't have any like practice with friends or anything like that.
50 hours, yeah. All with the same instructor?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. All right then. So, do you want any help with setting these feet up, or are you good?
We can see if I can do it on my own.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. You're gonna go.
That's good. So you're always getting the gas before you get to bite. That's great stuff. It's exactly what we said. Increase the gas as the last bit of the clutch comes up. There's not much more you can do to that to make it any better. Just so you know. Straight round this time, straight to the two hill junctions. If you wait on a hill junction, it's quite a long time to be balancing and holding still. You might decide to keep your feet still and put the handbrake on. You know when you're at that one at the top?
Sometimes do that, yeah.
It doesn't mean you've got to alter the feet, so they're still ready for after you take the handbrake down. But it's good just to reassure you sometimes. So when we get to the end, we'll turn right. Would you like me to help you with timing?
Yes.
Good, so if you start with that, off the gas, cover the brake and clutch. Signal on, just a bit of brake, clutch down first gear, bit more brake, that's enough brake off, set revs, balance with the bite, revs first, revs, balance, bit more revs, so we can hear them. That's good, we did it, but now revs, so yeah. Maybe next Christmas we'll get there. How long you got?
A few months.
Okay, so at the end of the road we'll turn right. We're going to get revs on first, so it's humming. Remember, it won't make you go. The clutch moves the car, not the revs. So off the revs, cover the brake, clutch down, first gear. Keep it rolling. Just a touch on the brake. That's enough. Revs. Revs, hear it? Clutch coming up and go. Keep the revs coming. Good stuff. How did that feel?
Better?
A bit better, yeah? So we need to be a bit more prominent with the revs next time, so we can hear it. So revs on, brum. Done. And that's where that little practice thing that sounded like a load of nonsense, which I'm going to go through that with you next, and that'll help speed that up.
You mean we're going to be going kind of like in straight line, stop, go,
Yeah.
stop, go, stop.
Yeah, literally. It sounds a bit tedious, but it's actually,
No, it's okay.
it promotes good skills, and it always works on the lessons when when people have issues with feet and timing.
Yeah, because if I didn't do this lesson, I wouldn't be comfortable buying my car or like driving back.
Yeah, yeah.
So what's the point, really?
Good, good, good. Okay, take the next road on the right again. So you know when you go to second gear, where's your clutch going to be before you turn?
Up.
Yep. You might want to steady that off by doing a 4 count. 1, 2, 3, 4 and off. But we got it up, didn't we? Don't feel the need to accelerate either, and speed it up through there.
Sorry?
You know, after you went clutch up and then you kind of sped up into the turn. Just take it steady.
Too sure if I'm putting it in right gears.
You are. Can help you with that in a moment. With this as well, drop to second here. You got a sharp bend, you can't see around the conifers. Clutch up but no gas. Come into this side of the road, completely cover the brake and clutch. Keep coming. That's it. Keep it going, keep it going. As though you're going to crash into the silver car, but not. Keep it left and looking. Okay, now mirrors and now out. If there's a car or bike doing 30 around that bend, you're not going to ever have a head on. You're always ready to hold back in a position of safety.
Okay.
It's almost like you're having a look first before you're committing. I thought that the first time we went round. Obviously I didn't want to jump down your throat at it. So let's pull up on the left before the red car, please, leaving yourself lots of room to practice this, what we've been talking about. I don't think you need one, do you? Nothing behind, nothing in front there. Good stuff. Alright, now it looks like we blocked a driveway. Technically kind of could, but the drop curbs in the front, so, and they can still get on and off. Right, any thoughts, any questions so far?
No, just the same. I need to remember to add more revs when I'm moving up the hill.
Was there anything different to those hills than what, apart from the revs, that you would do usually in the diesel car?
No, I think I did the same mistake that I just applied the brake when I really didn't need to. I'm guessing I just don't want to fly out into the junction, but that wouldn't happen, I guess, unless I was gas.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, and I think sometimes people are a bit fearful about setting too much revs because they think they're going to go, whoa, they're going to go, but they're not, because the clutch moves the car, like I said.
Yes,
so if it's only and are you familiar with like holding bite point and driving bite point?
Yeah.
So if you're only if you set revs first, you're not even at holding point yet, holding bite point, then you get to holding and just, that's why you're not going to go flying.
Let's say then if I was kind of slow moving traffic at about 5 miles an hour.
Yeah.
With the diesel car, I would just literally just use my clutch only, unless it started going kind of past 5. Then I would apply the gas.
Yeah.
So what would you do in a petrol car?
That's a very good question. You know, if this car's got momentum, like you say, 5 mile an hour, well, that means first gear.
Yeah.
That's like first gear tick over, travelling. First gear engaged speed, that is.
Yeah.
So if you've still got a roll, if you're still in first gear, you could in theory press the clutch down to kill the drive so that the car's not powering into the car in front, slow moving traffic, the scenario you give, and then you can lift the clutch back up slowly and reconnect that into the drive that's already, the roll that you've already got, the momentum that's already carrying.
If it starts slowing down?
Yeah, because the reason that you have to set revs in for here is because we're moving the tyres from stationary, or if it's near stationary, and it's quite a big ask to get such a weight, plus driver and passengers, whatever, going, and that's why it needs the extra power, because as I say, it's not naturally there in the lower end in a petrol car.
Yeah. So if it was already rolling in traffic, then can just...
You might set a little tiny slither of gas, a little tiny bit. But generally, try and just bring the clutch back up slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, off. And see if that just kind of blends into the existing roll, because often it will if there's some momentum. I think 1 mile an hour you might have to set some revs, but maybe 2, 3, you know. That's what I tend to do, and I do that in second gear as well.
Yeah.
Clutch down, clutch back up. Right. So, do you know what I'm going to ask you to do? Do you know what I mean by this? Move and stop, move and stop.
Do you want me to just say, start moving, then brake a bit until I'm almost stopped? Or...
Yes. And so we've got a little slow roll, like almost stopped, and then we're going to get straight back into the set. So, because you imagine when you approach a junction, you're going to be braking, aren't you? Brake, 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 clutch down. Next thing is you'd select first gear. Next thing is before you find the bite, this foot would go revs, bite, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to be on the brake, clutch is going to be on the, you're already be in first gear, we'll just, you know, off the brake, set revs, bite point, move the car. As soon as the car's moving, keep your feet still, and I know you can do that. Clutch back down, it'll kill the drive and the car will roll to a near stop. That'll be an opportunity to go. I'll guide you through, but that'll be an opportunity to go back to the revs on, bite point, freeze, make it move, kill the drive, reset, keep reapplying it, and it'll really get that speed going. It'll get you used to the noise that you should be hearing every time you set the revs as well. Get the muscle memory working with it too. So I would encourage you to do this with your car when you get it. For this, I'll be your eyes and your ears so that you can just solely focus on, you know, your feet and the sounds and the feelings of...
Are we just going to be going here in front of that car? Or?
Yeah, if it depends how we do it. If we need to, we'll pass the car. Obviously, we'll check and go around.
Just so I know if we're going straight line or moving out.
But at the moment, stay curbside. So basically, don't come out of this parking position. Just keep steering wheel straight. Okay. So I'll guide you through, shall I? Yeah. So clutch down first gear. Pop your foot on the foot brake. And take the handbrake off, because you wouldn't have that on if you just approached a junction, for example. So the next thing is, we're going to come off the brake, set revs, bite point. So revs on. That's it. Good. Make the car move, nothing coming. Just make it move a little bit. Clutch down, go. Back to the brakes, brake to a near stop, and back to revs. Revs on, revs, bite.
And start moving, or?
Yeah, just make it move a bit. Clutch down, kill the drive again. Back to the brake, brake to a near stop, back to the revs, revs on.
I did the clutch first.
That's okay, that's what this is all about. Clutch back down, brake to a near stop, and when you get to the revs this time, on. Yeah? Don't worry if it's too much. They're a bit too much, you can always come off. Clutch back down, kill the drive, back to the brake, near stop, and revs. Better. See? Clutch down, back to the brake. Revs, bite. Keep the revs coming, yes, see what I mean? Clutch down, brake to a near stop. We'll do it once more. Near stop, revs, bite. You're getting better every single time.
Yeah, now I got what you mean.
Yeah. So let's just secure that there, blocking the driveway temporarily, but we're not going to be here long. I hope that was useful.
Yes.
Do you want to do any more of that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think so.
Alright, shall we come past the red one then? You pull up on your left, and I suppose there'll be a real consequence this time because it starts to go uphill. So if you don't get to your revs and bite in time, you start to roll back. Yeah. Handbrake's on just a little bit there.
Okay, so past the junction. Probably.
Yeah, past the junction, and we've got that little straight bit then. Pull up fairly soon after the junction, because we're not going to be parking, will we? Just fairly early on here, and then we've got that distance to go then between us and the turquoise car. Coloured car.
Okay, so take the clutch first again.
That's it. Clutch back down. Brake to a near, but not so it would roll back. Enough time to set the revs and get to the bite again. Just like that. Well done. You can hear that. that revs in the background, can't you? Those revs. Yeah, just like that. We're not going to focus on the rev counter then, have we? Because we're using hearing. It's okay, don't worry. Revs are there to be revved.
That's the first time I hear that.
That's what the engine's for. Yeah.
Yeah, but if it was a steeper hill, I'd start rolling back pretty soon. So
Maybe. So you might have to set the revs earlier and get to start you travelling upwards to the bite sooner. Yeah, because there is steeper ones. So, great progress there. Do you feel like you're getting what you need out of this lesson?
Yes, definitely.
Is it helping you with your understanding of it as well?
Exactly what I needed.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to try and apply this to general driving? So holdbacks when meeting traffic, uphill junctions.
Yes.
Do you want me to remind you to? You know exactly what I mean now, don't you?
Yeah.
Do you want me to remind you to do it? I know you know how, but it's remembering because it's new.
Probably, yes. I think so.
Shall I?
Let's see if I mess it up then.
Yeah. If I'll give you as long as I can until I think this is a bit late, and then I'll tell you, shall I? Yeah. So it was. So it's on you. But if you're not in time, I'll let you know.
Yeah. So moving uphill, are we going to be turning right?
Yeah, I think that's best because then we can use that other uphill one up there.
So I'm kind of like, I don't know how many meters that would be. Almost up to the lines. I clutch down. Well, I mean, first off the gas.
Yeah.
Clutch down first, then select gear.
That's it. First thing to do.
Brake if I need to, depending on the seat speed. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then revs first, right? And
Exactly.
Then find
Exactly.
and see if I can go.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But just keep that noise the same in the background, like you were just here. The rev noise. Yeah. Drive on when you're ready. Turn right at the end. Really good. No issues there. And you're never going to stall there. Because you've got nice steady feet anyway. I've noticed that as soon as you started driving. But
Since the revs are on, it's not going to stall, yes.
Exactly, yeah. And the revs are on as well now. So that's, yeah. So we just got to make sure it's we've got the consistency. So we're going to turn left at the end. Let's see about this one. Come off a bit. It's not an issue. It's good stuff. Everything okay there?
Yeah.
Yep. I said I was going to go through that with you, didn't I? The third gear, and I didn't. You see now, you could just go clutch up without gas because it's rolling.
And it's downhill too.
Exactly, yeah. That's kind of like what I was talking about earlier. Best thing to do, put less effort into going to neutral. Just boing it forwards and it'll boing itself. Do you know what I mean by that? It'll just spring, because gear stick's spring loaded. You just push directly forwards on it with minimal pressure and not holding it. It'll just spring to neutral, and then you know that third sits above it, don't you? Above it. So you just then go forwards. One forwards push after that. The trick is not to hold it. Exactly. Take the next road on the left. It's just opposite where the silver car pulled out from. Nearly after the zebra crossing. Apologies, it's been a while since I've been over here. It's just after this zebra, can you see it? Apologies for that. I thought it was that junction there. So where's that clutch going to be? Awesome. Good stuff. And why is it important that clutch comes all the way up again?
I would probably fly into that. What is it?
Those parked cars?
No, the thing in the middle. Is it?
Oh!
The road narrowing? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, if
well, it would kind of swing out.
yeah,
And
it's likely to, yeah. Probably should remind you, because it's new, isn't it? It's like breaking the habit of a lifetime. If you've only ever drove and done that, it's, you know, it's
I always got scolded for that.
Sorry?
I always got scolded for that. Driving too hard.
Take the next right, please. Stuff there. So, how would you describe the gradient?
Just this junction, you mean?
The road, is it uphill, downhill or flat?
Oh, it was downhill.
This one, sorry.
Oh, this one uphill?
That's it, so if we have a meeting situation, we'll be looking to do the same, aren't we? Mm-hmm. Clutch earlier, revs bite. What was it you were driving before?
TLTRs.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Slightly different, like the sound and all that. The cars are a bit different on this as well.
Yeah. Take the next road on the left, please. And then the next road on the left, please. Any holdbacks up here where we need to hold back for traffic?
So it usually happens when I'm trying to learn something.
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
Yeah, the other thing I'm thinking is to bring it in more and more, and possibly even in more complex situations where you might feel a bit more rushed, is like Ashbourne Road, pedestrian crossings and stop-start traffic. That could be how we can sort of expand on what we've already done. I was thinking. How do you feel? What I want to do is make sure that that's properly established first, like you do understand what you've learned, you can repeat it, and I feel that that's the case. I mean, how do you feel?
Oh, it's definitely better, I'd say.
So do you think we should probably consider, look to add those type bit busier roads in like that? Or would you prefer to sort of stick with this for now?
Maybe we can do it one more time, like on the hill or hill junction.
Yeah. Again, before that red car.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
What did you realise?
That I was supposed to move more behind it.
Keep behind it, yeah. Just in case something's shooting down on the wrong side. Turn right at the end, please. slowed, they kind of perceive that as you kind of letting them go. A lot of people, and that's, I guess it's a skill to be able to read them, just late breakers. So it gives the impression they're still coming. I guess they kind of are. It's, yeah. What's the danger in you slowing when you don't need to necessarily though? You know, if you maybe overread it and could have kept going, what's the danger? Yeah, could be. Okay, so we'll do that loop again as we said. So we'll be taking the next road on the right. Try and stay off the gas. Just clutch up.
Did you mean the brake?
The gas, because you know last time when you did all that good stuff, you come off the clutch earlier, but you went on the gas and accelerated into him, and you went quick down the hill. But yeah, you did it all better that time. Didn't accelerate. You let the engine brake and keep you under control as you were turning in.